Peace family, Conjure Queen here, and in this segment we are going to be talking about astrocartography. Okay, so a lot of people have been asking me to talk more about astrocartography. What is it about? How do you know where in the world you're supposed to be, and how certain aspects of the stars influence certain ley lines and grids here on the earth? So let's look at the meaning of astrocartography. It comes from the word astro, which means star, and cartography basically talking about geography, cartography, the study of the earth, the mapping of the earth. We have to understand that this science goes way back to ancient times. The ancient Egyptians actually used to work with astrocartography in order for them to do their architecture. That's why a lot of the architects nowadays don't understand how these ancient civilizations were able to build mounds and pyramids and all types of things. It's because they aligned their grid on the earth here and the architecture here to be in line with the heavens. As above, so below. And so that's why a lot of these pyramids and ancient monuments has so much power, is because they were synchronized with the actual pattern in the stars. So what does that have to do with astrocartography, and how has it changed over the years? Now, if you do research, some may say that astrocartography started sometime like in the 90s or the 80s, but the truth of the matter is astrocartography goes way back to ancient times. Throughout the times, as we became to adapt and change through civilization, people started to use astrocartography to figure out where in the world could they be more prosperous, or where in the world could they find more success in life. So in this video, we are going to be talking about the different planets, the different aspects, and how that affects your astrocartography chart. So first, let's get down to the planets, right? I'm going to list all of the planets and the energies or traits that they have on certain places. But keep in mind that certain planets affect people differently. It really depends on your natal chart. So what you'll need for astrocartography is your date of birth, the time you was born, and where you was born. This is very important. The website that I personally like to use for my astrocartography chart is astro.com. Excellent website, putting information is free, and you can see a whole map of how the lines and the planets align with certain spots here in Earth. Okay, so first of all, let's talk about the moon. This is some place that's going to have some type of emotional healing. You may feel very emotional there. Deep feelings, might even feel a little bit psychic and intuitive. The moon tends to make us want to go inside, introverted. So this is really good for people who probably want to get away from the crazy city life and just want to rejuvenate, do some self-reflection and some healing. This is also a great time to do some healing when it comes to, let's say you have childhood trauma or feminine issues with your mom, things that you need to work out with your family, right? So tapping into where that moon line is in your chart can definitely help you with your emotions and getting spiritually, emotionally balanced. I realized that whenever you go to certain places that have the moon line, you will notice that you will feel not only more intuitive, but you'll be able to manifest much quicker, faster, okay? The moon is all about cycles, so be cautious when you go into this moon line, because there can be repetitive cycles. You might feel like you're living the same day over and over again, or certain toxic cycles may come back up so that you may heal them. Next, we're going to talk about the sun. Now, the sun, wherever you see the sun line in your chart, this is a really optimistic placement. The sun brings life, it brings vitality, it makes you shine. It literally can make you stand out from the crowd. If you're looking to become more famous, more popular, more well-known or acknowledged, I definitely recommend going where the sun line is. You're also going to feel more optimistic about like your goals and your dreams. And you might even notice that you might get more epiphanies, more enlightenment moments. The sun is all about enlightening, illuminating the mind. You might become more brilliant, smarter, going into Mercury in a minute, because Mercury is always not too far from where the sun is at. So we're going to talk a little bit about Mercury. Now, Mercury is known to be the planet of intellect, right? Technology and things of that nature. And so whenever you go into your Mercury line in your astrocartography chart, that's going to be a place where you'll feel very astute, very smart, very quick, very witty. Also, you might come up with some new ideas. people who tend to go into Mercury lines tend to be very inspired. Also going into hermit mode. So hermit mode basically means like you want to shut the world out, go into your journal. It's really great for writers, right? Mercury talking about writing and science and the mind and intellect. If you're thinking about doing a study abroad program or going to school abroad, or let's just say studying a different language, a different culture, wherever Mercury is in your astrocartography chart is a sure sign that you will do very well in your academics and your studies, and anything that has to do with enhancing the mind, the intellect, learning new things, being innovative. So go there. If you're an inventor, if you have an idea, if you have creative block, I would definitely say go to where your Mercury line is at. However, there is a warning. Sometimes Mercury lines can make us overthink a lot. You could be a lot in your head. So if you are already an overthinker, you might feel a little bit mentally overstimulated, and you might have to find certain methods to ground you or to bring you a sense of peace and balance. Next, let's talk about Venus, the planet of love, of pleasure, of passion, and all that good stuff. And let's not forget relationships, right? Wherever Venus is on your astrocartography chart, you'll notice that you'll feel more loved, and you'll also get a lot of love. And you'll also feel more beautiful and more magnetic and charming, and people will also look at you as being charming and influential. This is also a great place to prosper. Venus also deals with money and success and riches, right? The luxury. So if you are trying to live a more luxurious life, want to upgrade yourself, or even looking for a love connection, go where Venus is at, because that could be where your soulmate is at. That could be where you'll make new friends, new business partnerships. I tend to realize that wherever Venus is in the astrocartography chart is really a successful placement. Nothing really bad about Venus. The only thing I would say is be careful of laziness. Venus is all about like luxury and kicking back and kind of being in that space where you don't want to work, you just want to have fun. So you'll have a lot of fun, but remember to have balance. You still have to have discipline, because if you don't have discipline, then you won't be able to take care of none of your responsibilities, and you'll be too busy partying, having fun, drinking, overindulging, that next thing you know, time is flying by and look, your bills is behind and you have payments that you have to pay. So be very responsible when you are in this Venus placement. Also be careful not to get caught up in love where you lose sight of everything else, especially if you have codependent issues, right? Codependency, attachment style issues. So I would definitely recommend, if you're going to go into your Venus line, to be cautious and go with an open mind, but also be very responsible and disciplined. Next is Mars. Now Mars, the planet of passion, of war, of fire, of energy, vitality, aggression. Mars, whenever you go and look where Mars is on your astrocartography chart, I would just say go with a little bit of caution, especially if you are a person who has impatience, right? Because wherever you go where Mars is at, you will kind of feel a little bit like things are not moving as fast as you want them to, or your patience will be tested, okay? And sometimes when Mars is at, it could be some type of karmic issues where, let's say a particular place you're going, maybe there was some type of ancestral war. Mars is not particularly a placement in your astrocartography chart where you want to just relax, because you're always going to feel kind of restless and wanting to move around. So this is ideal for people who feel a little bit lazy and want to shake that off and move around more, be more active. Also, it's good for physical activity. If you're trying to lose weight, I definitely feel like Mars, wherever Mars is in your astrocartography chart, you'll definitely feel more motivated to work out, to eat healthy, to do better things for yourself. Also, being more assertive in what you want. So let's say if you're kind of a passive person waiting for life to happen to you, wherever Mars placement is in your chart, you'll feel more charged up. You'll feel more inspired to move forward, to take action. So wherever Mars is, that's where all the action is going to happen. But be careful of drama, because sometimes when you don't have any action going on, you could tend to create drama in your life just to have some type of fun. Jupiter, the planet of expansion, of luck, of prosperity. Now, Jupiter always brings us abundance, right? And it always makes things bigger. So, Sphinx. Let's talk about Jupiter, the planet of expansion, of good fortune, of luck, of all things good, right? Even lessons. So whenever you see the Jupiter line in your chart, this is definitely a place where you'll do well financially, you'll do well in business, you'll do well in whatever endeavor that you're pursuing. Is going to expand it, right? It's also going to expand your ideas. It's going to make you feel larger than life. If you're an actress, actor, or let's say you're into some type of like entertainment, Jupiter is also good because it's good for like celebrities and stars. It makes you larger than life. It enhances your energy, especially if the Jupiter and Sun and the lines are crossing or very close. This is a very successful place to move for business, for success, for popularity, for fame and fortune. Jupiter enhances all of your goals, all of your dreams, all of your desires, and you'll start to see things happen very quickly and on a grander scale. So Jupiter is one of the planets who I always say is a very beneficial place to move. So see where Jupiter lines are in your chart and see if you can visit those places and see if you can feel the energy shift. Because Jupiter is such a big planet, the energy can be very strongly felt there. Not overwhelming, but more so like you can feel the shift once you enter the space. You feel more optimistic. You feel more adventurous. You feel like life is expanding for you and the opportunities are just abundant. So a lot of abundance comes with that Jupiter placement. Let's talk about Saturn, right? The planet of discipline, of structure. Saturn can be a very intense energy, but I will say that the rewards are definitely worth it. Now, if you have Saturn line anywhere in your chart, this is a place that you probably don't want to stay there for long because the energy can be very intense, very heavy, lots of lessons to be learned, a lot of karmic things coming up. So you might meet people from a past life, past enemies, past lovers, past friends, past family members. If you believe in reincarnation, definitely there's a need to step into your power more. You're going to be called to take an initiative in your life and be more authoritative. So if you're the type of person that just kind of like to follow the crowd, or you don't really have a voice of your own, Saturn will definitely make you dig inside yourself, do that shadow work, and really figure out who it is you are, what you come to bring, and what authority do you need to start taking in your life. It also forces you to get more disciplined. So if you're the type of person that's all over the place, scatterbrained, not organized, Saturn is really going to humble you and sit you down and be like, nah, we're not doing that no more. You're going to get your life together. This is how we're going to do it. This is what you're going to do. When you learn those lessons, it's like, okay, you feel this sense of relief. But once you learn a lesson wherever Saturn is in your placement, I would say kind of move around, because that energy can kind of make you feel depressed. It can make you feel defeated, especially if you're taking a long time to learn those lessons, or if you're not knowing what you need to do, what work you need to do, how to be assertive, how to be disciplined. It can start to feel very painful. Emotionally, spiritually, even physically, be heavy on you. If you want to learn some lessons, if you want to upgrade yourself and do some serious transformations, then Saturn is where you need to go to learn, to grow, spiritually speaking. Also, I want to mention too, Saturn can make you feel a little bit slow, right? Like, it's a very slow planet, so you might feel a little bit delayed. You might feel a little bit, like things are in your way, like you're being blocked, like something's slowing you down. So it can get a little bit much. I would definitely say Saturn will help you get the foundations to build an empire or a business. But like Jupiter is more for expanding your luck and fortune, Saturn is more like, okay, how can we get the foundation going? How can we get everything organized so that we can get this thing off the ground? Pluto. Now, Pluto is all about transformation, death, rebirth, renewal. Wherever Pluto is in your chart, just understand that you're going to go through some major transformations. You may feel like you're breaking down to be reborn again. You might go visit a place and come back completely transformed where people may not even recognize you. Probably in a good way, hopefully, right? If you learned those lessons and you overcame and you built yourself back up. Pluto is intense. And you may even have some form of like identity crisis, because remember, Pluto is shedding these illusions that you have. Pluto also deals between the realm of death and life. So you might have some spiritual experiences there as well. If you are a person who is intuitive or psychic or tapped in to your higher self, you'll definitely get a lot of downloads where Pluto is at, working with your ancestors, working with the spirits. Pluto is all about transformation, change, and breaking cycles. So let's talk about Uranus, right? The planet of strange things, weirdness, inventions, new ideas, new beginnings, and kind of like the rebel of all the other planets, right? It's like that child that just goes against everything else the other family is doing. Like all of the family is doctors, and this person wants to be a singer or an actor or a model, or have their own business, right? So wherever Uranus is at, you will definitely feel more inventive. You might want to create new things, new ideas, new businesses. If you are looking for higher learning, Uranus is an excellent place to go, like going to college or going to get your master's or things like that. However, I will warn that where Uranus line is, sometimes you can feel a little bit spiritually depleted or spiritually impoverished. Like your spirit may feel drained. For the reason is like Uranus always has you like moving and wanting to do things different and try new things. You'll meet all these different type of people you never met before. There may be some cultural shocks, right? Completely different from what you're used to. If you're the type of person that like structure, organization, and you like to go based upon the laws and the rules, Uranus line may not be for you. You might feel very uncomfortable and it probably will be out of your element. However, if you are the type of person that likes strange things, who likes to do adventurous things and do things that's outside of the box, Uranus will be excellent for you. Neptune, okay, the planet of dreams, of illusions, of glamour, of a mirage, right? Neptune deals with the deep waters, the subconscious mind, but it also deals with like what we want. Sometimes being in a Neptune placement in your astrocartography chart, it can really start to put on make you wear like rose tinted glasses where everything looks nice, and sometimes you can miss red flags with certain situations and people because you're so optimistic and everything seems like it's so perfect. So I would definitely say try to learn what you got, the lessons from the Saturn placement or wherever Saturn is in your chart, because Neptune will test you to see if you'll fall for the illusions. Also be cautious of not getting things done, kinds of getting into escapism and pretty much living in this illusion, like this fake dream world where you have all of these great ideas but you're not acting on them. Wherever Neptune is, I will say the good thing about it is that it is a place where you are very, very creative, right? If you feel like you're stuck, let's say you're in a Pluto or Saturn placement and you want to kind of feel a little bit free and be able to creatively write and think, I would say to go to your Neptune placement, get those ideas, get inspired, feel rejuvenated. I definitely feel like Neptune is a fun place to be. And also people tend to kind of project how they feel about you, because remember, Neptune also puts like a glamour spell over you. Now, depending on how Neptune is aspecting your astrocartography chart. I'm in Mexico City right now, and this is my Neptune line, and I definitely feel more tapped into spirit. You will definitely feel more psychic, more intuitive, and you'll also feel like you can walk in your dreams or have more lucid dreams. Neptune is a great place for the imagination. If you are a natural creator, entertainer, Neptune is where you want to be, because you'll see that your ideas will just flow so fluidly and you'll get a lot of creative work done. Okay, so now that we discussed the planets, we're going to also talk about the ascendant line, also known as your rising. We're going to talk about the Imum Coeli. We're going to talk about the descendant, where the sun is setting, and lastly, we're going to discuss the midheaven. Each aspect, each planet, depending on how it was transiting when you were born, has a different effect. When we look at the ascendant, right, the ascendant line in your astro map, or also known as your astrocartography chart, the ascendant more so deals with self-expression, right, like how you see yourself, also how you come and show up to the world. The ascendant is how we express ourselves. Whenever you travel to a place where it's on your ascendant line, this is where you will feel like very energized, like you feel like you want to show the world what you come to bring. And also you can be very influenced by that planet that's in that particular area, and you might take on its qualities or its traits. And you may even identify with the theme that that planet brings. Your Imum Coeli more so deals with like family, foundations, the home. So wherever you go where your planet or lines is in the Imum Coeli, you're going to kind of compare it a lot to where you're from. The Imum Coeli will make you either not look at your old traditions the same again. It definitely changes you, and it changes your foundations on how you were brought up, how you were raised, your customs and your culture. So when people visit their Imum Coeli line, they always come back with like this sense of change, right? Like they become a changed person. They did the inner work, and it's really about going deep down inside yourself. Even some childhood stuff may come up. But the Imum Coeli, some people even consider settling down there because, once again, it's synchronized with family in the home. Now, your descendant is more so the influence from the outside. Now, with your descendant line, you're more so taking on the experiences from others, like external influences will be very strong. So I would recommend having strong willpower, especially if you're the type of person that's easily influenced. Be careful of getting negatively influenced. But let's say, for instance, if your sun is in your descendant, people will have this energy with them that will be inspiring to you, right? Like you might meet some popular people, people who are successful, people who have vibrant personalities, and that may rub off on you, making you also take on that energy as well. Now, your midheaven is more so for career, right? How you show up. What energy you bring to the world, how you influence the environment. So let's say, for instance, if you have your Venus line, Venus is midheaven, when you travel to a specific place, you will seem more beautiful to others. Remember, you're influencing other people. This is the energy that they read from you, even if you're not aware of it. Also, when the sun is in the midheaven in this placement, this is really good for people that want to become famous or popular. Where Venus is in your midheaven, you will seem more beautiful, and your beauty will influence others. People will fall in love with you easily. You may have an excellent dating life and sex life there. The sun is actually in the midheaven line in your astro map. You will definitely be more popular, more famous. You might even become a celebrity in that place. So that's all, family. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe, and if this video has taught you something new or helped you in any way, give it a thumbs up. And if you want to learn more about astrocartography or anything else dealing with travel, nomad living, expat life, definitely follow me, and also subscribe to my mailing list, because I will be sending out some goodies to those who subscribe. Oh, and if you have any questions about astrocartography that I haven't identified here, you can drop it down in the comment section and I will get back to you. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, Conjure Queen signing out. Peace.